What is going on, comic fam? It is your boy, the bearded comic bro, and I am joined back to the show. We got Kevin Roditeli. Welcome back, man. Welcome back.
How you doing, dude?
Dude, I'm doing so good. I do have to say though, I have some beef with you. Last time when you were on the show, we were talking. You're like, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna share a lot of things, but I'm gonna grow a really dope beard so that way I can keep up with you. And I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing, you know. But maybe I could go to my prom or something like that. You know, I'm ready. This is like I gotta get all the chicks with that. But yeah, I suck at growing beard, man.
It's so good.
You the god. You the god.
Well, last time we were talking, I think it was back in like October, we were promoting your book, Freaks Know
Yep.
Blood.
Right there.
Boom, that sucker's dropped. If y'all haven't picked it up, good luck finding it because it's everyone was getting it.
Right. Yeah, we were super happy with the result of the sales and the critic and stuff like that. It's just like blowing my mind all this weird little thing that gets so well. It's always cool when you create something and people are like, oh yeah, that's fucking dope, it's something unique and stuff like that. Like we heard the word unique so much, and that's like the biggest compliment to me, to have create something unique in a market where everything has been fucking done. So having that compliment is pretty fucking dope.
Right. And you also said it, if people watched our episode and they didn't like it, you'd give them their money back, and so no one's gotten their $10 back, right? Like you're
no bankruptcy for me so far.
But we could talk about this book all day because it's great. But you also said, you're like, man, I got some things in the works. Like I could hop on your show every month, talk about stuff that's dropping, and some big news just dropped this last week about what you have going on with Behemoth Comics. So, man, let's talk about this. Let's talk about your imprint that you have now with Behemoth Comics called Happy Tank.
Yes, Happy Tank. So it's like, if you're a fan of Adult Swim, the TV channel, it's what we want to bring to comics. Something with the vibe of Adult Swim, just like weird stories like Freaks Know, with a touch of action and comedies. Like if you like Rick and Morty's and all those type of show, this is the place where we'll be doing those things. And we really want to push like the quality of all the art in the books to a level that no one has. This is my plan, because the lineup of the imprint gonna be limited. I really want to be, since I create, I want to still have time as a creator, and I want to be sure as well that the quality is always at the top. And if the catalog get bigger, it will be impossible for me to have always a standard of quality that we want for the brand. So we are releasing one #1 per month, and it's always 3 series at a time that we'll be running. So we focus on the #1 release, and the rest, you know, it's monthly and they release. But we have always just one title, #1 per month, that we put all our energy in and we really believe in, and we release it. So it's super amazing. And for series, let me take my previous catalog, find the page. I should have the oh yeah, easy. Look at that beautiful spotlight we got, man. I never seen a spotlight used like that.
That's so cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, we got a pretty long green bar just over Freaks Know #1. So it's a new series. So if you did like the graphic novel, you're gonna love this one. It's a standalone, like the graphic novels, different story set in the world of Freaks Know. And for someone did not had the chance to grab the book or did not read the book, the first one, it's not a problem. It's 2 different stories but set in the same world. And it's a 4 issues miniseries. #1 right now in the March previews catalog, 3 covers. And something cool, we got a cover by Pantazis, that is a cool, famous artist in Europe. And he did the cover for us, and we're giving that cover all the profit to the Hero Initiative charity. That this charity is actually helping comic book creators that has money problem or health problem and stuff like that. So all the money that we're going to do with this cover in the previous catalog, so the cover C for charity, we give it give all the profit to the charity so we can help our heroes that has inspired us to make comics, you know. So
that's neat.
So yeah, I'm glad I have the chance to do shit like that. So it's so I thank Behemoth for helping me putting this imprint together, because it's important to me to give back to people that did give to me. So it's the first time we're doing this, and I hope it's going to be successful, and we can do other
Yeah.
charity covers like that, because it's super easy to do. You know, you get your orders, you get the money, and just like, oh, we send it back to them, and we send the profits, so we're sure we're not in problems. So, and we give what we can. So that's that.
Well,
That's a
let me ask
strategy
you
with
this.
that cover.
Let me ask you this then. If you know, we talked about your first book that you're launching through the imprint, because it's, you know, it's your brand now. But what's an imprint if someone's watching and they don't really know?
So an imprint, sure, I guess it's different. It's can differ different depending on the deal you get
Yeah.
through the publisher. So BMX is dealing with, they co-market our titles, they bring our distribution. Uh, so we kind of do everything together, but we're still an independent company that is distributed through BMX. So we do our own thing, and BMX help us to release a title, they give us our distribution and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a different branding. That's cool about imprints, is like the opportunity for publishers to have like different type of titles through the same brands. That's what Image does with Skybound, Top Cow,
Yep.
and McFarlane Production, for example, now with the Spawn universe. I'm so fucking excited for that. I'm a fanboy, man. I got my little Spawn right here, like
That's right.
That's right. So yeah, so imprint is pretty common in comic book that
Yeah.
publishers does that when they want to expand, because as a publisher, you at some point you cannot have like 20 titles and give the same amount of attention. So imprint is a way to expand your catalogs, and at the
Yeah.
same time, you know, having another publishing team taking care of those titles. So that's I think the advantage for publishers to have imprints, and that's what we're bringing with our 3 titles a month. It's 3 titles that I take care of myself, and Rob Cannon, that is actually the artist of Freak Snow, that is the editor in chief of the imprint.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, before we get more into some of the books that you guys are bringing out, how did you land on Happy Tank?
Man, it's pretty funny because I think it's like 3 days before we went on set. There is a rep at Diamond that tell us, because we're going to be named Fubrak, which is a word I have created, and I was like, Fubrak is fucking cool. We go for Fubrak. And the rep at Diamond said to Nathan, well, yeah, it's cool, but it sounds super foreign. And at the same time, that name, you know, if you don't tell someone how to pronounce it, they might not know how to pronounce it. So it's hard to brand that thing.
Yeah.
And so like we have that advice like 3 days before, and I never thought about that, you know. So I was like, full rack, it's cool. And 3 days before, there's like Nathan that said, oh yeah, Diamond doesn't really like the name, and they recommend to change it, because they said like retailers and blah blah should have problem with it. And we're like, oh shit, that kind of makes sense. So yeah, so we started to go into a brainstorm, and at some point I just said like, we were on the smiley ideas and stuff like that. And at some point, I don't know, I started to have like fascination for tank, and trying to match like tank with words. And I just said like Happy Tank. And after Rob was like Happy Tank, and that was that was it, dude. So yeah, it's pretty fun. And Rob did a pretty cool logo with the tank and the smiley and the bubble. So
That's sweet. Well, let's be honest. The real reason is whenever you guys launch your first book, your first comic store you're going to, you're rolling up in a tank for sure.
oh, dude, fuck yeah. And I just had the idea, and I hope we'll do it. I would like to do like a one shot a year of the tank killing all the characters of our publishing line, like Deadpool did with the Marvel universe, you know. So we
Yeah.
have like the Happy Tank present the death of our characters or something, and the tank just goes into the comics and kill the shit out of our characters. I will love it. The only thing he does is like smiling into a bubble.
That's
And
so good.
I would like to do that shit. That's my planning. And some underwear with the tank on the dick is really important as well. You want
Oh
it.
man.
We all want it.
So that's so cool to get the kind of just hear that process of why you're doing it, what you're doing, what you're looking for. Freak Snow, you said, is the first one, and getting to check out both. You're right. You get the vibe of the world because of the artwork and stuff, but you can easily read both separately and be like, oh, cool. Or hop in on this one that you guys are dropping in May and be like, I don't feel like I needed to read the graphic novel to know what's going on, but you should, but you don't need to.
Yeah, totally. So if you did not, it's not a problem. If you did, you're gonna enjoy because you're gonna see some references and some
Right.
character coming back. But it's two different vibe. Even
Yeah.
the style of the story and the subject matter is totally different. So you can jump into it if you did read it, and if not, that was important for me that every Freak Snow story we do, we can jump into it. Like I really love Spawn with 300 and something issues, but it's so hard for a reader to
Right.
jump into it, you know. And if you want to jump into it and start from the start, you need to like go to the bank and ask for like a shit ton of money, lose your house and your car, your wife, because you need so much money to buy all the trade paperbacks of Pound to read it, you know?
Right.
So that's not something we want for Free Snow. Is anyone can jump whenever they want. We have other spin-off for the franchise coming up.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to push it as a franchise. We'll see what the future reserve us for Freak Snow. It so far is doing great, and I really want to make other stories, having other creators jumping into this world and world building each time. And it's like you have to read the first one, you know, it's like it's a world that is building, but all the stories are really character centric. You know, it's focused on the characters and not the world building, but we put some elements there and there. So it's slowly building, but we focus on the character, and I think that's maybe the big difference from other world building wannabe franchise. It's just
Yeah.
like we're not like showcasing our thing and all this the spaceship and the shit. You know, it's just like, oh, those are our characters, like them,
Yeah.
and let's see later what's around. And maybe there is a McDonald at the corner, and you don't know, and you won't know.
That's so good. So you guys you're dealing with original IP, and you're tackling also some licensed properties.
Yeah, we are going, and that's my plan. We want to do 50-50. So most of the time we'll release an original IP. The next month's going to be in licenses. And the first one is that pretty badass thing. Mute FKS in English to name it MFKZ. It's because it was released first in French. I'm a huge fan of Mute FKS, the original series. For those that doesn't know, my first language is French. So in this book, it's a series that I grew up with. So it was my first move I did. It's like contacting the guys that was doing it in France and saying, hey, dude, I'm a fan. I'm probably the only person you could talk French with in the fucking industry. So you want to do it with me? And it did work. Like after 8 months of negotiation and talking about it, we are bringing the franchise here. And if you did not watch the movie, there is a movie on Netflix, and it's so wild. And the animation is so good in that movie. It's crazy what they did with it. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. And what's interesting? It's actually the movie. Most of the movie is the first issue that we are releasing, like The Walking Dead did. You
Mm.
know, like the first issue was the first episode of the Walking Dead, and after both did go in different direction. And MFKZ is the same thing. If you watch a movie, you're gonna read the issue, you're gonna be into it, and at some point in the series, it's just gonna do. Whoosh. And I think that's cool about it. What's that cool about it? And also, the first issue is 44 pages, so it's a really oversized book that we're releasing for the first one, making an event, and it's gonna be pretty dope. Super excited to release that. Ron, the artist, has such a cool art style. It's pretty freaking crazy. Let me show you.
Yeah, and that movie,
Colors.
the voice talent on that movie too has some great people on that.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
pretty
look at
cool.
that. Yeah. So you're
Yeah, so
bringing back the original artists for the series that was done in French.
yeah, so yeah, that's what's cool. The artist is actually the co-director of the movie.
Oh, so cool.
So yeah, so it's the movie team that make the comics as well, and we have so much books in bank that we want to release. Our plan at Happy Thing right now, with MFKZ, it's making it one of them with Freaks Now, our flagship titles. And
Yeah.
I want to come back in 15 years when we're gonna be whole and oddly, dude, talking about MFKZ number 300, you know. And
Yeah.
that's our plan with it, like to release and release and release MFKZ and really launch it like Darkus does with Hellboy, and
Yeah.
having some spin-off and stuff like that. That's our plan because it's super cool EP. The world is fantastic. The main character is super interesting to follow, and I believe it's something I can connect with the American audience. We'll see. Maybe maybe I was wrong. Maybe the little French guy was wrong, but I'm super confident with it because it's really really freaking good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. When I saw the news drop about this imprint, and then I saw that was attached to it, I was like, okay, they're making moves, and I'm excited for it. And we were already planning on talking, and I was like, and then I'm like, nope, this is great because yeah, it's on. I mean, if you aren't familiar, like this is something too that you could hop in right now after this interview, go watch the movie and be like, oh, check out the property that you can see, in a couple months of what the comic book could be like.
Yeah, and it's not that far away because the Silly Station gonna be in the April catalog for June, so
Oh,
of the number one. So it's pretty soon. So go watch the movie and pre-order
and get
pretty much.
excited.
Yeah, so that's pretty
That's
cool.
That's so cool. And now you said you're putting out three originals or three books to start. So you've got Freaks Note, you've got MFK. I always spell MFKZ.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it wrong every single time. And then what's your other one that you've announced?
And the third one, going to be the number one of July, will be Cinnamon, which is a pretty crazy stories. And the art style is so fucking cool. It's looked like a Japanese video game like Suda 51. I don't know if you're familiar with that guy. It's the creative team behind No More Heroes.
Okay.
So the art style is kind of like No More Heroes for the people that did play the game. And we follow a schizophrenic cat that believe that he is a badass on a bike, looking for catnip. And but he is schizophrenic, he's just like a little cat in an apartment with the girl that owned him, but he is sure that he is like a freaking mission on his bike. It's super weird, and the art style is so fucking cool. Victoria, I think she's gonna be like one of the breakout talent this year in comics. I will not be surprised there's this series that everyone will be asking for covers by that girl, because man, the covers she does are just like, when she sent us like the 4 covers from the number one, I just reply like, holy shit, tell me your rate for their series, because you're gonna do more for us than just sign them up now.
We're gonna lock that down right now.
Yeah, okay, I want to book your schedule. No one gonna take you. Yeah, she is so great. It's and that's why I wanted to keep it for number one per month. I just want to publish stuff that I know I'm gonna fall in love with, and I just like feel so passionate to talk with. Like MFKZ is like one of those property that I did fall in love when I was a teen. I was reading those French comics and stuff, and the movie came out. And I was in love forever with this thing. It's kind of a dream bringing it to the U.S. And Cinnamon, like when I saw, this is not even submission. I think most of the thing that we're gonna publish is not submission. It's stuff that I knew from online, and I was saying on Instagram and stuff like that. And when I had like the okay from the boys at BMA to start grabbing titles and shit, that the deal was done, I just like send DMs and say, hey, I always like your post on Instagram. There is a reason why. and it's all stuff like that. I was just like, oh, that's so dope. I want it. And so I'm so excited, and I want that, because since I'm a creative person, I don't want my stuff to be in front. I want to promote stuff that I'm so in love that it's like if I was releasing my own shit.
Yeah.
So that's the plan with it. And after we got some other properties that we don't want to announce now, that I'm fan as fuck of. So it's just exciting to be working on all those stuff. And I just want to give like my 110% to have the best sales, with those titles. And I have Rob Cannon helping me with the editing in chief, so he is doing all the design of the books. And another Rob Fakeman, that is our retail and relationist that book our exclusive covers, that work for like talking with retailers, showing like, hey, Freaks Note, it's pretty good. It's going to be super weird if you read it, but it's cool. So that's what the other Rob does. So it's super fun. And of course, the guys at Nathan and Ryan are just like our our big brothers,
Yeah. Well, that's so cool because, yeah, like I said, I know last time we were talking, you're like, I've got some big stuff in the works with Nathan and Ryan, and it seems like this is a family thing, because I was talking with Nathan at one point a month ago or something, and he's like, dude, have you reached out to Kevin yet? Because you might want to have him on for an interview. I'm like, I have, but he's, it's like, it's a family that you want to promote, people then support each other who like, are putting out stuff that you think like this stuff is good work and I like it. So I think you definitely get that vibe with Behemoth, and then you're going to get that now with your imprint of Happy Tank, which I think is just really cool to see that.
Yeah, but I think there is no other way to work with. I
Yeah.
know I don't think you can publish stuff that you're not passionate or you're not in love with, because it's gonna feel like you're not. You're just like putting shit on the shelf like that and just like, hey, that's I'm releasing that shit. I don't care, and it's gonna feel, because man, it's such a passionate and passionful industry. Everyone that goes, you need to be passionate as fuck. It's kind of crazy when we think about it. All the system of the comic book industry work. Every week you go to a place, take your drug. That's how comics work. So when you're a publisher, you are selling drug. And if, for example, if I was like the cocaine dealer, I will not say like my coke is fucking shit. That's not. I will not like. I want to sell you the best coke to come back to me, and that's the same thing for books. I want to sell the coke that make me not sleep at night, and so you are happy to not. Well, I don't know where I'm going with this, but but dude, I sell good cocaine. That's where I was
you
going.
heard it here first. It's so
you got a scoop.
Well, it's so funny though, because like you talk about how it's important to have a passion and believe in what you
Right.
are. And if someone's watching this video and they can't feel your passion and your excitement for what you are creating and what the teams that you're working with, they're sleeping and they're not watching, because you are like your passion is just so excitable right here, and it's and it's awesome to see that, because to me that's like you said, you are taking the time to put in the work that you want to do to put something out there that you really believe in. And I think you have to, because this market is so cluttered with so much to really stand out. You have to be able to put out good quality and then be passionate.
Look at that.
Yes.
Look at that.
And that's just for what, March?
Well, 1 month.
1 month.
For March. It's crazy the amount of titles that are released every month. So it's even a form of respect to love your shit. You love the shit that you release, because you compete versus that, and you need to respect the market. And I think respecting the market is about releasing good shit, because retailers are taking a chance on your book. They don't know the content. It's like every readers, when they look at a catalog, they just see a cover and they trust the publishing team, they trust the creator, and so they're taking a chance on everything they order. And I know, because I have been in the retailer position, and sometimes you get, oh yeah, that's a really fucking good cover, and you open the book and the artwork, the story just suck, and you're stuck with it on your shelf. So it's a form of respect and building the relationship with retailers, because retailers are, I mean, we sell to the retailers first as a publisher, and it's important to respect the retailers, because without the respect to retailers, it's impossible that readers get it in their hand, because we need to have a good relationship with retailers and bring good drugs to them, drugs to sell, so they can actually feel comfortable to sell it to their customers, because it's the same thing for them. If they put on their shelf as retailers stuff that are not good, well, they can lose some headache. Because like, hey, this guy did grab this book, grab this book, and he's like, oh, comics suck. Maybe he gonna stop listing and just go there and there when he hears something on Twitter that is pretty good and you need to grab, So it's important for me, and I think and I hope for every publishers to release the best of the best in comic book stores, because that's where the real guys are, the real fans that go every week there. And I think we need to share the passion at the same level than those guys that are putting the time to go to stores. That's super important, because, well, we have one life, and the only thing that is limited in our life is actually our time. And it's pretty freaking crazy to think that comic book fans put so much of their times into the love for comics. There is no other medium of entertainment that fans put this amount of time and love and communication into it. Like, I love movies. I watch a movie a day. That's the time I put on it. But I'm not on Twitter talking about the
Right.
movies I watch. I'm not like talking with other peoples of the movies I watch and stuff like that. But comic fans, even if they have no one to talk with, they're gonna make a tweet and try to reach out other peoples because they need to talk about it. There is something like it is a like if comics is a virus that is going around, like it's the
It's
nerds COVID, you know.
it it is because you know like it's such a niche market of like of you know even creators. A lot of indie creators, you know, are they're creating books on their second job. Like this is their second job
Right.
as they have other jobs, you know, and people are creating YouTube shows talking about it, and because it's just so passionate about like it's such a small group still, even though how large this community is, that we're like, I've got to talk with someone about Freak Snow, and my immediate circle probably doesn't know about it, so I've got to go talk to other people who are
Right.
reading comics, and it makes complete sense for sure.
And that's what's cool about it. It's when and there is something I think that, of course, we all know that comics is not where we become millionaire, creating shit like they want.
Right.
So it's something cool about creating comics is knowing that when you release something, you're gonna have a direct feedback from the community. Like, oh, you open your social media and someone receive your book in the mail or just go to the shop. A lot of them gonna take a picture and say, oh yeah, that thing is cool.
Yeah.
And that's something, and I want to think the fans that are watching this, even not my fan, but the fan of comics that are sharing online the stuff, because your favorite creators are not rich, or most of them are not like living from comics most most of the time. So when you take the time to take a picture and post it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or wherever you post it, not on Pornhub, please. You you actually give, it's a form of reward or even currency for a creator
Right.
to see like some love online on their books, and it's kind of a reminder for or motivation to, oh yeah, that's why I'm doing it. And and it's important. So I want to thank everyone doing this. You are the reason why we do
Yeah.
this, like.
and and it's yeah it's a fun hobby to get into for sure because of that, and that those connections and those
Yeah.
relationships of reading through it.
True, and there is a proximity that you get with creators that you cannot get, like with movie stars or
Right.
directors or stuff like that. And in comics, it's like everyone is close. You know, you can reach pretty much to any creators online or on Twitter or
Yep.
directly in the DM and just say like, "Oh, your shit is dope," and they will reply like, "Oh, thank you."
Right.
You know, and that's what's cool about it. And I think that's the main set that convention that bring to the industry, and that's what's cool about it. Like creators knew from day one that it's an industry that need to be down to heart, and just
Yeah.
because of the convention of like I can meet everyone and we're there to have fun and share a passion, because yeah, I love comics, fuck. It's just fun. And well, if you want to grab my shit, discover what I do, it's right now in the previews for Snow #1.
Yes, it is. So, well, Kevin, I know we could talk all night because
We
we
can,
we can.
if you want.
But for
I
the
got
sake of
wine at home if you want, and I was just like, oh,
for
how was your
the
day,
sake of
darling?
your time and everyone else's time, is there anything else that we haven't gotten a hit on yet, real quick, that you want to touch on briefly, or just I mean, we talked a lot about a lot of your stuff you got coming out, so
So I invite everyone to follow Happy Tank. Happy Tank is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know, the three places where we go for
yeah,
comics online. And you can go to happytank.co to see what we do. So far, we have the three titles that we did talk about or announced. Freak Snow #1 right now in the previews. Ask your comic book store. And same thing in the Freak Snow Wash in the Blood. If you don't like it, I refund you. And since that book is not expensive, you know, it's a $3.99, I got to double the amount. So you're gonna get $8, dude, if you don't like it. so go grab it. We have 3 covers and we have 1 for charity. So
yeah,
feel free
that's
to
so cool.
order 2 copies of it, and you're giving money to the charities even more. And you're boosting my sales. so yeah, you know, everyone is winning. You're giving to 2 charities. And we have MFKZ coming up the month after in June. So April catalog and the May catalog, we got Simon. That is super awesome. Believe me, Victoria Douglas is a breakout talent this year that you're gonna see in Simon. It's gonna be crazy, and that girl gonna have like a super career in comics, and that's the beginning of it. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
And everything that you talked about, all the links, that stuff's gonna be in the description of this video below. Ways to follow Kevin, following Happy Tank, all those stuff's in the video below description. Kevin, thank you so much for just taking some time to talk comics with me and talk about this new exciting announcement. That's awesome. I'm thrilled that you were able to hop back on, man.
It's a pleasure. Anytime, dude, and I love your shirt.
Thank you.
And your beer, of course.
Of course, naturally.
Of course.
Well, with that being said,
that one too is natural, dude.
Hopefully you can find some time to curl up, grab a book, and nerd out. Peace.